The tater tot hot dish is the most Midwestern dish I've ever made on this channel, so as a non-Midwesterner, let's find out if it's as delicious as it is wacky. So for about a year, I've wanted to make unique state dishes from all 50 states. This is going to be a long-term goal, but we're diving into the very first one today. Don't know how long it's going to take, but we're going to make a dish from the Midwest that features tater tots. I like to use the Ore-Ida ones usually, but Sonic is what my store had, so Sonic's what we're going to use. In addition, we need some cream of mushroom soup. I've seen people use cream of chicken as well. Some frozen veggies. I got green beans and corn, but use what other frozen veggies you like. And then onion. We got a Spanish onion and a shallot. And then the star of the dish, some ground beef. This is 80-20, but you could use 90-10 if you wanted a little less fatty and greasy. We're going to cut the shallot up to a pretty fine dice so it kind of melts into the sauce. And then the other onion we'll leave bigger for a little more textural chunk. And then we're going to pre-cook these a little before the meat goes in. So we're going to throw these into a Dutch oven, a little bit of neutral oil, and just going to cook them until they get translucent. And like all regional dishes, I know your family may cook it differently. You may use slightly different ingredients. It's different town to town, region to region, city to city. So if there's something you do differently, let me know. But just be accepting that not everyone cooks it the exact same as your family. That's what makes these regional dishes so fun, is that they're all slightly different. So we're going to throw in that meat. We're going to put in 1.5 pounds of it. I'm not going to really break it up too much, so we're just going to flatten it out. Make sure you get some browning on that first side. Hit it with some salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder as well. This is the main seasoning of the dish, aside from the cream of mushroom soup. Once you start to see those first little bits of browning, flip it over. We're going to break it up as much as we can, but leave fairly sizable chunks. That way you can get a good fork bite between the meat and the tater tot. You don't want it too fine, otherwise it's going to be really difficult to eat. That's right about what we're looking for. So we're going to start to heat up that mushroom soup. Make sure you get a little water in there, otherwise it's going to be way too thick. And just keep cooking that meat until there's no pink left. Once it's ready, we're going to put this into our baking dish, but we're going to use a slotted spoon because look at all that grease that comes out of it. You want to try to keep as much of that away from the baking dish as possible. A little bit will get in, and that's totally fine. But now we're going to start to layer this into a baking dish. 9 by 11, 13, those should all work. Just whatever you're using, make sure the meat, veggies, soup doesn't go higher than about halfway, 3/4 of the way. That way those tater tots will fit in comfortably and not be too exposed and kind of just sit all over the top. Mix in a little bit of those veggies, the beans, the corn, just mix them in so they're not just laying right on the top, and then we're going to lay in that soup. As you can see, it is still quite thick. If you want it a little thinner than this, add a little more water to it, but we're going to let that kind of sink down as it cooks, so just smooth it out. I'm going to grab a spatula to also make it nice and kind of smooth, and that's basically going to be the glue for the tater tots right now. Tap it down to get any big bubbles out. That'll just help it cook. And now just create a layer of the tater tots all over the top. You don't need to get too fancy with designs like some people do. Just do them nice in rows to try to make sure you're covering as much as possible, because the soup will kind of bubble out through any cracks. So try to squeeze in as many as you can. Make a nice top layer on that top. And then I like to just pat them down a little bit so they're nice and even. Now we're going to throw that in the oven for about 35 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And here we are after those 35 minutes. You can see the tater tots are perfect. They're golden. They're warm. That's all you need to do. The soup is bubbling. Everything else is pre-cooked basically. The veggies will absolutely completely cook. You can't really hear it, but they are very, very crispy, and that's all you want. Obviously the underside is going to be a little soggy because of the liquid. Totally fine. That's part of the dish. Let this cool down now for 5-10 minutes, and now we're ready to serve it. But look at how beautiful that is. It's not the most like Michelin star looking dish possible, but it's a very nice casserole. The top layer of the tater tots makes it pretty nice to look at. It's not really great thumbnail material, so YouTube's going to hate it, but totally fine. Just serving it out now into a bowl. I guess you could put it on a plate if you want, but you could see that sauce has really seeped down through the meat. The very bottom of it didn't get any, so I probably could have mixed that a little bit better next time, but diving in for a taste. Try to get a bite of everything here. It's a very unique dish. This is not flavors that as a New Yorker I've really mixed together, so it's very unique in that way. It's also not a great summer dish. It's definitely a fall, winter, hearty kind of dish, but it's fun, it's easy. This will last in the fridge for probably a week or so, and you can just keep heating it up, and those crispy bits will get nice and crispy again on the top. If you're into tater tots and creamy sauce, this is definitely for you.